The worst kept secret in Hollywood has finally been revealed. Marvel has indeed confirmed who will be playing the Fantastic Four. Pedro Pascal will be playing Reed Richards. Vanessa Kirby will be playing Sue Storm. Joseph Quinn will be playing Johnny Storm. And Evan Moss backtrack. The guy from The Bear will be playing Ben Grimm. They've also confirmed that Herbie the Robot will be in the movie as well. I've never consumed any piece of media that includes Herbie, so I have no idea what his deal is, but he's there. And in their promotional image, they've also kind of confirmed that the movie's going to take place in the 60s. So this is going to be yet another period piece for Marvel. If you look at the magazine that the thing is holding, you can see that it's actually Lyndon B. Johnson. It says Life magazine cover from 1963. So it's presumably when this movie is going to be taking place, which definitely points towards the rumors of the Fantastic Four being like lost in the dark zone or the quantum realm or whatever the fuck. I don't even really know. And then at the end of this movie, a lot like Captain America, the First Avenger, maybe they pop out of a portal in modern day MCU and they get approached by, I don't know, Doctor Strange, be like, we gotta fight Kang. Kang is coming. Has he been recast yet? I don't know. As far as my opinion on the matter, I think that this sounds really cool. I like the idea of it being a period piece. You know, they've tried doing Fantastic Four like twice now. I guess 3 times if you count the the movie that never got released. But at this point, if you're going to do Fantastic Four, it's like I do feel like you kind of need to differentiate yourself from the failed attempts. And going back to the 60s is definitely a way to do that. I like the artwork here. It indicates a bit of a lighter tone, which I think could work really well for the film. I also think that the cast is perfectly fine. I think Evan Moss again, the guy from The Bear, I think that he's pretty much perfect for the thing. I mean, if you've ever seen The Bear, I mean, this is spot on casting. Joseph Quinn is an interesting one. I definitely liked him in Stranger Things, and, you know, we're going to see him in A Quiet Place Day One. He's definitely not the most handsome person in the world, and I only say that because when you look at who's played Human Torch in the past, he's been played by Chris Evans and Michael B. Jordan, and he's very much like a ladies' man and whatever. Although was Michael B. Jordan as much of a ladies' man as Chris Evans? Actually, don't know if he was, but if that's the way that you're going with this character, you know, Joseph Quinn is simply not as handsome as Chris Evans or Michael B. Jordan. But I mean, he definitely has the charm, you know. Like, in Stranger Things, he kind of came off as, like, a nerdy guy, but he was very charming, and that was, like, part of his character. So I think he can definitely play the Human Torch, and I think it'll be fine. And Vanessa Kirby is obviously a great pick. She's a fantastic actress. We know that she can do action with, like, she's been in, like, Mission Impossible and stuff. She was also in the Oscar award-winning film Hobbs and Shaw, so there's that. And then Pedro Pascal, I also think is a solid choice as well. I think he's a really great actor. I think he can play like the smartest guy in the room and whatever. And there's definitely been weird backlash to Pedro Pascal though. Oh, well, he doesn't look like Reed Richards. I was like arguing with a guy on Twitter who was like, he doesn't have the right face shape. Which is like, guys, when will you learn that looking like the character is the least important thing when it comes to casting somebody for a role? Like, it is so not important. I mean, like, how many times are we going to have to go through Michael Keaton as Batman? How many times are we going to have to go through Heath Ledger as Joker? How many times are we going to have to go through Robert Pattinson as Batman? How many times are we going to have to go through Hugh Jackman as Wolverine? Where it's like, oh, he doesn't look like the character, or oh, well, he's never played a character that's like this person. It's like, guys, a good actor will act. He will act like the character. Like, Pedro Pascal is actually proven to be a fairly diverse actor when you look at him in the Game of Thrones, where he played like Oberyn or whatever, and he was this like very charming ladies' man slut character. And then he played like a hitman character who was like kind of serious, and the Equalizer 2. He's gone on to play like a cowboy character in Kingsman: The Secret Service. He played like a charismatic billionaire in Wonder Woman 84. Then he played like a gruff, serious guy who needs to find a meaning in his life in Joel in The Last of Us. Like, he's actually like a fairly diverse actor. I've never seen a bad Pedro Pascal performance. And in fact, even in terrible movies like Kingsman 2 and Wonder Woman 84, Pedro Pascal actually shines in them and makes those movies better and more watchable. Oh, he doesn't look like Reed Richards. Oh. And the other thing that gets me is when people are like so like certain, they're like so assured or like so confident that an actor can't perform the role when they haven't read the script, they never saw the audition, they never saw the chemistry reads, they never saw any of that, and they're like so convinced in their minds, it's like, no, he shouldn't play it, it should be this guy, it should be Glenn Howerton or whatever, it should be John Krasinski, when for all you know, Glenn Howerton auditioned for the role, and maybe Pedro just gave a better audition. Maybe when they did chemistry tests, Glenn Howerton just didn't have as good of chemistry with Vanessa Kirby. You don't know. Maybe the script is written in such a way that, no, Pedro is just better, is a better fit for the role. You have literally no idea. Like, just look at the Batman. If you had told somebody before, it's like, oh, should Robert Pattinson play Batman? Like, everybody would have told you, no, that's a terrible idea. But then when you actually watch the Batman and you see the vision that Matt Reeves had, who would have been a better choice than Robert Pattinson? I literally can't think of anybody. When you look at how emo that character ended up being, it's like, oh yeah, there's Robert Pattinson. So that's why I tend to not get as emotional when it comes to castings, or like, I never really have people where I'm like, oh, it should be this guy, because I just don't have all the information. And I won't have all the information until I've actually seen the movie, and I'm either able to go, oh, I totally see why you cast that guy, or, oh, that was a terrible choice. Why did you do that? The other argument that I've seen is, oh, Pedro Pascal is just overexposed at this point. And I'm just like, is he? So Pedro Pascal is in two big properties right now. The Mandalorian and The Last of Us. One of those shows, he's wearing a helmet the entire time, covering his face. In fact, I'd bet he's barely even on set. It's more of like a voice acting role at this point. And then you have The Last of Us, which only has like 2 games in it, so it's not like that show's going to go on for like 8 seasons. That's not going to continue for that much longer. So it's like, okay, yeah, no, now he's moving on to Marvel. What? How is he overexposed? That's like a really silly argument in my opinion. Now, if you just don't think that he's a very good actor, that's fair. But I haven't seen anybody make that argument. It's always something weird of, oh, he's overexposed, or, oh, he doesn't look enough like Reed Richards. And, you know, obviously people are going to take it to like a racial thing, and it's like just so silly because it's like, he just played Joel. And nobody cared. Like, I don't think anybody actually cares about race swaps. It's like, if something is good, like we saw with The Last of Us, people are going to be like, okay, whatever, who cares? If something turns out to be bad, then they're going to be like, oh, they woke it up. Well, see, that's why you shouldn't do race swaps. This is why you shouldn't be woke. It's because, oh, that's what made it bad. When in reality, as long as it's a quality product, nobody, I think, is actually going to end up caring about stuff like that. So, listen, at the end of the day, all I really care about is, did you get good actors for the roles? I think they did. So now I'm just going to wait and see what they do with it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Bye.